And we're back, and she's back. So interesting ending, not as abrupt as we're used to. With the lady vanishing, it's interesting that the character Iris sort of vanished as well. Her husband probably didn't find her. All the poster art of this movie shows, you know, the title "The Lady Vanishes," and it's always the young girl. It's never Miss Froy on the thing, even though it was her that vanished. Interesting. So yeah, we definitely had some vague politics in that one. Interesting though that our villain did have a German accent, and we had an Italian. And if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that the Baroness's character was Spanish, or somebody was Spanish in that train. So the three most powerful fascist countries definitely represented in this movie. And yeah, low budget, no budget. Definitely the miniatures that were used weren't fooling anybody. The whole thing, the whole movie, with the exception of the bits in the hotel, was set on a single cart. The whole soundstage, the whole stage was 90 feet long. So obviously none of that took place on a train. You had shadows, you had them rocking the car, you had the sound effects, and when they're sitting in a car and you're seeing the countryside go by, that stuff was actually filmed in France. Alfred actually went and filmed that stuff. So that's the French countryside going by in that whole movie. It's easy to forget. Well, if you don't know, you could assume some of it was filmed on a train. None of that was filmed on a train, and I think really that's the best part, Hitchcock-wise, of this to me, was just how well he did that. You know, it probably was not easy to make this look realistic, and I thought, low budget aside, I thought they were on a train, so very well done. It's also difficult to know, well, okay, he's handed this script, he made some changes, wasn't his idea to do it, how much of this was Hitchcockian, as everyone likes to say. It's really hard to know. One way of knowing would be to get the original screenplay done for the script that was written by those two guys. The other thing is this movie was actually started a year earlier. The picture was begun, but they started filming some scenes in Hungary, I think, somewhere like that. And was it Hungary? I'm not sure, but anyways, they're filming this movie a year earlier for real. And the local police, the local army, got a hold of some of the script and read it and felt they weren't being represented well. And they kicked the whole company out. So that's one of the reasons this script was all completely done. One thing I do know that was added by Alfred Hitchcock was, in the script, there was no magician. That character was a banker, and Hitch put that magician stuff in because he wanted to have that bit of slapstick comedy with you know, the disappearing door or whatever. So interesting. We definitely had music as a plot device in this one, which we're seeing a lot lately. Not only was the music as a plot device in this one, but it was also the MacGuffin. And the MacGuffin particularly being, in this one, what was it, the vital secrets of the country's peace treaty. Which to us, you know, as viewers now, vital secrets to some two countries having a peace treaty, who cares? Well, no, they did care, because you know, everybody in the 30s was fearing this great war that was coming, and we knew damn well what caused the First World War, which was, you know, some little incident that happened in the Balkans, but you know, secretly countries were allied to each other, and something so small sparked into something very, very large. So it was a big deal. So on a lighter note, some fun things that we liked. You gotta love those little champagne glasses, and we want to get some feedback on this. In all these old movies, all the Cary Grant movies, you know, you've got someone drinking champagne out of these sort of wider glasses. We always want to get some. So if anyone out there has an experience with those glasses, we'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Hitchcock wanted Robert Donat to play this, and he simply wasn't available again because of his asthma. I liked Michael Redgrave in it. I thought he had pretty good chemistry with the girl, and he obviously went on to have a good career, but he stayed pretty much a stage actor. He preferred the theater. Also on somewhat lighter notes, the train whistle, we're used to that at this point. I can think of in the 39 Steps when there's been that murder at the beginning, and the maid opens the door and she's about to scream, and instead we hear the train whistle where Robert Donat is on that train. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, definitely, you know, there's also sort of a neat bit of timing that, you know, right about this time, you know, Alfred Hitchcock actually wanted to do Rebecca. You know, he had read Daphne du Maurier's book, Rebecca, and he really thought it would make a great movie. and he looked into buying the rights to the book, but he simply couldn't afford it. There wasn't the money to do that. And well, we know someone who did have the money. It was the David O. Selznick Company, and that, of course, we'll certainly get to. So, but first, you know, Alfred now has to make one final British film. Well, that's not true, because technically Frenzy, which is movie number, well, it's second or third last movie, well, that's a British film. So, yeah, absolutely. So, but you know, for now, this is it. He'll make Jamaica Inn. Right, Jamaica Inn will be his final British movie. Yeah, interesting. Now, just a quick word about 1938, because we're leaving 1938 now, and we wanted to say that the best picture in 1938 was You Can't Take It With You, a delightful comedy that we certainly like. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but we think it's great. We haven't seen it recently, though, so maybe we'd have something to say about it. But some other fun things that we did discover was certainly the movie Robin Hood from 1938, starring Errol Flynn. I had not seen it until a couple of days ago. Darryl has actually seen it, what, like 5 times or something, so it's delightful, and it was described as the sunniest movie ever made. It really is worthwhile. It doesn't take long. I think it's a 2-hour movie, and very, very good. We think that you know, everyone's probably most familiar with the Disney, the cartoon, and this was definitely the basis of that. It's good. It's just fun. And the other thing that we really enjoyed was a film called Pygmalion, which was also nominated for Best Picture. Not to say that Robin Hood was, but this was nominated for Best Picture, and excellent. Based on the George Bernard Shaw play Pygmalion, which was turned into a musical, and then that musical was the basis of My Fair Lady. If you even kind of like My Fair Lady, you have got to see Pygmalion. It's excellent. It has no business being as excellent as it is. I dare say it's better than The Lady Vanishes. Although we have to say we like The Lady Vanishes. You know, it's always reviewed so highly, just very highly. People talk about it. It's his best British movie. I don't think so.
Frenzy's his best.
Frenzy's the best British movie. You know, certainly as we saw last week, Young and Innocent. I'm a 39 Steps guy, so you know, I definitely think it's worthwhile viewing, and certainly if you're a Hitchcock buff, you have to see this one. Is it dated? You know, we always talk about that. I don't know. Not really. Pygmalion isn't.
No.
You know, weirdly enough, which is when is that probably set? You know, when did 1912, present day, not dated. So, would we recommend this to non-Hitchcock fans? Non-Hitchcock fans? No, but Hitchcock fans, heck yeah, definitely. I just loved the scene too. I remember the first time I saw that, you know, to have the writing on that window, Freud, and we're all saying, look at the window, and they don't look at the window. That was really well done. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, getting back to 1938, some misses we watched that really don't do well. But lastly, another one that we really liked was Jezebel. Betty Davis won Best Actress in 1938 for Jezebel. So good. Any other big things from? We also wanted to mention that the version we watched today was the Criterion version of DVD. To my mind, there are 3 versions of DVD to get. The really lousy one that we watched this the first time last year, which is awful, an awful transfer with really bad audio. This one, which is very good, and it has a few extras. And then the third one, which was actually released in 2007, which is even better picture than we saw today, apparently even better audio, maybe even subtitles, because we didn't have them today. And I imagine we missed a little dialogue from today because we didn't have subtitles. But on the new release, there's a little featurette on the making of it, and there's actually footage of a movie that the Caldecott and Charters characters went on to make, and I think that would be a delight to get. So maybe we'll get that one day and watch it. So also Diane just pointed out off camera that we had a bit of a code issue at the beginning when the 3 ladies are changing and getting ready to drink their magnum of champagne, and we were showing a lot of leg in those scenes. Well, in 1938, watch movies from 1938 or 37 or 39 or 40 or 41, you don't see that kind of skin in those movies because of the production code. And we're wondering, and maybe someone else there knows, so what did they do to get this watched as successful as it was in the United States? Did they have to edit that part out? A part that was missing from this movie that I found out today is the scene where Charters and Caldecott are reading the paper, and they lower the paper, and one of them's got pajamas on and the other has nothing on, and they're sharing a pair of pajamas. Well, for some reason, earlier, you do see it very quickly, but it wasn't explained. One of their pajamas dropped into some water, and they were hung to dry, so they were sharing a pair of pajamas. Later on, when audiences watched this movie, they really wondered whether these two fellows were gay, and that is actually discussed at length in the new 2007 release. Probably not. Alfred Hitchcock wasn't interested in that sort of thing at the time. It probably was just more his version of the stuffed shirt British citizen that would be mortified around a woman, that these two fellows just simply hadn't grown up past the age of 12, their interest lying solely in cricket and not girls. So good. Well, we're done with this one, so it's been great having Daryl one of the things Daryl really likes is something called Mystery Theater 3000?
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Mystery Science Theater, I'm putting it down here as we speak, which is where when you're watching a movie and there's something funny and silly, you shout out something funny and hilarious, and he's a delight to watch him. So he's available for rent if you want him to come and watch movies with you at his house. It's a delight. So, but it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for coming, and we'll see everybody next week for movie number 17, his last British movie called Jamaica Inn from 1939. And so from our couch to yours, we'll see you next week.